Hello, folks. Welcome and good morning to beautiful Ensenada, Baja, Mexico, California. This is 2025 Baja's NORRA 500.
Parnelli Jones and the big Bronco.
Bill wanted me to drive one of his Broncos. And I told Bill, I said, no, it's probably not my bag. He kept insisting, he knew how to get to me. And he said, well, you're probably not man enough. And that was like throwing a red flag. So I took off not knowing what to do, frankly. And he put a guy by the name of Ray Harvick in the vehicle with me. And I told Ray to, tap me on the leg if I'm doing something wrong, running too fast. Of course, he about beat me to death, and he was right and I was wrong because I just literally tore the thing up. I never did get to the first checkpoint.
Once you stick one in a hole or bend the front end or blow a couple of front tires out or something like that, you're really in trouble.
But I was at the same time getting the bug. Something so much different than I had been doing, and I really enjoyed it. And the Mexican people, they would invite us into their houses with a dirt floor, just as clean as a pin. They'd serve us, fish tacos and lobster tacos, and they just were so gracious and they're so proud. It was just very, very enjoyable. I wanted to win overall. I didn't want to just be a participant in a class or anything like that. I wanted to beat the motorcycles. I wanted to beat, they were the ones that were winning all the races at the time, and they were so much faster than the cars. Bill Straub built a cheaper version of the Bronco, so to speak. It was a two-wheel drive. I said, man, that's what I want. Without pre-running, I lined it up for the 500, and we won the 500 with that. The car was so beat up, and my friend Ray Brock said, if that's the winner, I'd hate to see what the losers look like. Bill was not real enthused about the whole car until we started doing well and how quick it was. After we won the 71 Baja 1000 with it and just blistered the record, he kind of fell in love with it then.
Next is Parnelli Jones in the Ford Bronco number 62.
Bill, was a very mild, gentle man and never cussed or anything like that. But when he got in that car, his personality changed 100%. He'd beat on me and tell me to slow down. There's coyotes out here. We don't want to spend the night. There's snakes and all that. And he'd beat me and he'd get me to slow down, and I needed that. He was a great asset for me in the car. I came into the last pit stop. It's about 120 miles or something like that to the finish line. So I figured that the 12 gallons that went in the left side, they motioned me on. I figured it ought to be enough to get me to the end. Well, I got about within 10 or 15 miles from the finish line. And I'm up on the mesa and I can see the lights of La Paz. But I'm sitting there and man, you talk about hurt. I'm walking up and down the highway and everything else, Finally, there was a little light coming, and it looked like a bicycle light. And I didn't think it was ever going to get there, but it just finally creeped up there. Well, it happened to be two Mexican guys in a Volkswagen, and the belt had come off, so they had no generator or anything like that. But they did have a full tank of fuel. Thank God. Anyway, I always carried some money, and I pulled out a $20 bill, and I gave it to the Mexicans. And I said, "You got a bottle?" And they had a bottle of tequila. Yeah, and back here's the bottle. And so I pulled off a windshield wiper hose and siphoned about 15 bottles of gasoline, kept pouring it in the car. Got enough to finish. And when we started, the record was 16 hours and something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, the officials, Don Francisco and Ed Perlman and the rest of them, would all make a pool of what was going to be the overall quickest time. And Nico Saad is a friend of mine, and he asked me how long it was going to take me. I said 15 hours. Anyway, I did it in 14 hours and 59 minutes. And I think if I told him the world was coming to an end, he'd probably believe me.
Parnelli, Jones, and Bill Strop had done it. The Bronco had stood up against an incredible pace that had tamed the 1,000-mile course.
When I came into it, that was about the time it started getting a little professional. Then it was more of a recreational thing, really made it really enjoyable. Those days are gone. It's now very professional, flag to flag, so to speak. And even though the cars are handled better and everything else, I don't think it's nowhere near as much fun as we had. Well, I'm the kind of guy I don't carry much on my chest. You know, if I got something to say, I say it. In my day of racing, 60s and 70s, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I think we've raced in the best of times.
All right, folks, here we are. Welcome and join us here in beautiful Ensenada, Mexico, here in Baja, California, Mexico. Folks, very exciting. Yesterday was the day of contingency and qualifying. We're going to touch on that in just a moment. But today, right now, we are ready to go racing. In just a few minutes, we're heading out to Rancho Nelson. But here is a little recap of what we saw yesterday at Tech and Contingency. All the vehicles getting teched in for safety. Of course, there is Stella there as well, handling all of their tracking there for safety as well. A couple of drones in the air. And you see everyone getting ready to rock and roll. This was the scene yesterday down at the Riviera, right in the center of beautiful Ensenada. And what a great vibe it was. Bilstein Shocks there, and they were up on top of the podium in qualifying, and I'm going to get into those details shortly. But Bilstein, very impressive. There it is with all of our registration. The Mac Johnson Classic Car Roundup as well. And that's always a super fun one. So many beautiful cars there, and you see everyone just having a good time. The food, the vibes, everything is just year after year. No matter if it's the 500 or the 1,000 here for Baja's NORRA, it's exciting stuff. And there's a lot of the bugs, and you see all the different vehicles and things that are out here racing, from UTVs to two wheels to the bugs to the classic cars to all the newest fangled stuff. Really, really cool stuff. And so there is just the beginning of it. And this is a little drone shot of how it works. You pull in your vehicle. You go through PCI. Make sure you got all your radio stuff taken care of. Everything's dialed in. And then you roll on into Tech and Contingency and get that all done. But, folks, yesterday we did have our UTV qualifying. And, man, it was wild. It was hot. I'm not going to blow the top off it just yet. But, I'm going to say we've set some lap times. It was fire, just absolutely fire. Some of the top dogs in the UTV industry out there yesterday racing, qualifying. And I'm not going to blow it out of water, but I'll tell you, Robbie Gordon, he was up there, he did well. P.J. Jones up there doing well. We'll get on that a little bit. But It wasn't one of those vehicles that was up on top. It was one of our Bilstein Shocks vehicles, and right on top, and we're going to get into that here in just a moment. And just what a wild qualifying session it was. We had a little bit of rain, a little weather set in. That's the first time we've had that happen down here for our neighbor qualifying in Baja. And keep in mind, as we get into it, it's the same course that we use year in and year out for the 1,000 and the 500. We keep every single time logged, and we keep that in our record books. And that way we know when, who's doing really well. Now, you may not be the fastest qualifier, but maybe you set the fastest time that's ever been on that track, because it does change a little bit from year to year. It's the same course, but weather can take a play into it. That course gets used for other events as well at Rancho Nelson. So that being said, let's take a look at some of the highlights of yesterday's qualifying. And here we are. Look at this drone shot off in the distance. And there's the number 88 ready to go. And here is a banger lap right there. Bilstein really getting after it. Of course, the speed cars as well. They were some of the fastest vehicles out there. Mario Gutierrez Jr., Mario on the gas. Eliseo Garcia just waving them down. A lot of UTVs out here qualifying. Some of it was smooth, just like P.J. Jones right here. Some of it was violent as well. Rocking and rolling, going full send. P.J. Jones really in full effect. We had our Class 10, some Class 12s out there as well. All these guys getting their qualifying efforts down. Look at that speed car. Put the power to the ground. Very, very impressive the way those cars operated yesterday. But up on top right there, Caden Wells. Man, was he absolutely amazing. There's another nice shot of the speed car. Just a short couple-mile loop right there. And we are going to go down to the starting line right now. That was some footage from yesterday, a little recap of what was happening right there. And now we're going to get ready to go live. Down to the starting line here. And so we are now live. And live, what better way to start off our morning than with Pepe right there on your right, ready to rock and roll. And we are here in preparation to present the colors and singing of the Mexican national anthem, as there is only one way to start off the day like this, a beautiful day of racing, and that's to do it the right way, and that is to honor all of the wonderful people around Mexico that allow us to come down here and do this and make this happen. I see Pepe lining it up. He's been in charge of getting these guys together, and I'm telling you, it's just absolutely wonderful what the Mexican people allow us to do down here on their land since 1967 until now. And we pay homage to them, their military, and all the wonderful people. And I'm just going to be quiet and allow them to do their thing as they prepare to present the colors and the singing of their national anthem. All right, as the preparation is still getting underway, I jumped the gun a little bit. I saw some of the young ladies there preparing to do their thing. And now we're looking to get the audio from them onto us here. And we've never done this before. This is the first time, and we thought there's something really special, and it certainly is. So we're working that out and making those details dialed in right now, and I am going to let them do their thing. right, folks. So as the Mexican national anthem finishes up, as the singing has been completed, what a performance this is. It's different than what we'd see in America as they are now finishing up here. Several minutes of a process, and very, very cool the way they do it. They're very proud people down here, without a doubt, as they're handing off the flag. And as they're finishing up, how lucky are we to be able to be here and do what we do. This young group of boys and girls out here making this happen. Very exciting stuff. We can't thank them enough. And, of course, we can't thank all the people of Mexico, not just Ensenada, but up and down the peninsula from the top to the bottom for allowing us to be here and do what we love so much. Racing through their ranches on their property and getting all the love and support that we get from the Mexican people. And for those of you that are at home, or if you haven't been here, that love and support, it is equal on both sides. We would not be able to do what we do without all these wonderful people behind us and all of this lined up through our man Pepe. Very cool stuff. Really, really exciting stuff. I couldn't be happier right now, and that's something that needs to be happening year after year as we salute the men and women of the Mexican military and all of the people of Baja, Mexico, and we thank you so much for allowing us to be here and do what we do. And, yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Folks, now it is time to get ready to rock and roll. We are only a few minutes away from the 8 o'clock hour Pacific time, which means it's time to go racing. Here for the 2025 Baja's NORRA 500. Folks, I'm Sean Sermon, going to be getting all the action for you alongside Pam Hall and Miles Hazelquist. Miles is going to be on the starting line with you guys, and Pam is going to be out on course. I'm going to be bringing you all the action here live from the studio, and later on today I'm going to be joined by Miles as well here in the studio. So we've got a little bit of time yet before the first green flag flies, but qualifying's over and done with. Tech and contingency registration, that's in the record books. It is time to go racing 500 miles. Okay, so we're going to take an opportunity right now to head on down to the live spot at Rancho Nelson. Miles Hazelquist. Miles, what's going on? How cool was that?
Welcome to Rancho Nelson up here with the NORRA 500. It's about to go underway right here, right now. Kyle Murray, last year's winner, is about to take the green flag. The festivity's been going on all morning. The crowd is here. The racers are ready, and they're about to take on today's first stage. There's 3 special stages in the day. They'll end up back here and then transit to Horsepower Ranch. It's going to be a great day, so we're about to get this party started. Sean, back to you, buddy.
All right, Miles, thank you so much. And I tell you, the excitement, it's electric. We are ready to rock and roll here. As our first truck on the line right now, he is ready to go. We see right there Sherry Paxton with the green flag. We are right now only about 5.5 minutes away from our first green flag. As we are getting underway with our 4-wheel vehicles from a different start line about a half an hour ago. Our, we call motos, the bikes, the 2 wheels, they took off earlier today. And they are making their way to Europan today. Pretty long run for those guys. They're already out on course. They started at kilometer 46 off of Highway 1 about a half an hour ago. That's also going to be in 30 minutes from now. That's where our Safari Expedition will be doing it. But before we get underway, let's take a quick minute to talk about some of yesterday's results from qualifying. Folks, in the 10th spot, 365 days off of racing. He comes back again, puts his car up in the top 10. That's Mario Gutierrez Jr. Great run for him, 9th spot. It is Bo Briggs. No surprise there. Bo Briggs came out with a banger of a lap. Really on the gas. Christian Strobel, a little earlier in qualifying. I thought that time was going to stick a little bit longer than it did. Put him in an 8th spot. Troy Hernquist, no big surprise. See him in the top 10 in the number 25.50. He was in the 7th position. Ivan Tagle, great run for Isle, just outside the top 5 in the 6th qualifying spot. That's the 1087 of Ivan Tagle. Then we get into Robbie Gordon just inside the top 5. P.J. Jones, Robbie Gordon, 4th and 5th. They've been racing together since they were children. 3 generations on both families, from fathers to them and their sons, being amazing competitors. Troy Johnson, he's in your top 3. Thomas Purcell, 1979, he's 2nd place. And then boom! A huge banger of a lap. It is a world record for qualifying laps at Rancho Nelson for Caden. Big run, Caden Wells, with a 2:27.03. No one has ever done it faster than Caden Wells, and he did it with those Bill Stein shocks, putting the power to the ground. Very, very impressive stuff. Folks, the times you're looking at right now, these are the fastest laps that have ever been set at Rancho Nelson. Not just qualifying, it just so happens that Caden Wells was up on top of the leaderboard yesterday with that 2:27. Second fastest lap ever done was done a year ago this weekend with a 2:27.27, just a little slower. That was Max Gordon. Thomas Purcell, he did it yesterday. He got himself in the top 5 fastest laps ever with a 2:28.43. And then Troy Johnson, he also did it yesterday. The track was really dialed in. They were really able to get the power of the ground and make it happen in 2:28.69. P.J. Jones, welcome to the top 5, brother, as he is now one of the fastest competitors to ever put a lap around Rancho Nelson. And there we are. Here is our starting order for our trucks today out there at Rancho Nelson. You saw Kyle Murray in that white truck in the 6109. He's taking off here in just a few moments. Warren, Gay Smith, Dallas Luttrell, the 5th one off the line, Craig McCarthy, an international team. Those are some fast guys right up front, right off the top. But then we get in the 6th starting spot. Trevor Glidden. Trevor Glidden spent days upon days for the 1,000 just a few months ago racing with no power steering. It was a big struggle. But due to that, he's got big muscles in his shoulders to his forearms. And he's ready to rock and roll trouble-free. Here this weekend starting the 6th spot. Tim Kunchin, number 7. Edward Gibson start 8th. Bob Briggs will be in the 9th spot. And rounding out the top 10 of starting positions will be Arnando Gutierrez. So that is your top starting spots. UTV starting order, that's going to be happening right after the trucks get off the line. No big surprise. It all makes sense. The cream rises to the top, right? And they get to start first. There's your fast qualifier and world record setter. That is Caden Wells. Thomas Purcell behind him. Troy Johnson in 3rd spot. P.J. Jones. PJ's performance, he's going to be getting after it in the 3rd starting spot. Right behind him is going to be Robbie Gordon. Is Robbie going to wait around and try to get around his friend as soon as possible? I bet it's going to try to go up pretty quickly. That's not going to be an easy task. Ivan Tagle at the 6th starting spot. Trey Hernquist, Kristen Strobel, they're 7th and 8th. Bo Briggs in the 9th spot. And in the 10th spot is my buddy Mario Gutierrez Jr., and he is going to be taking off 10th off the line. Those are some fast cars, the 10 fastest of qualifying and starting up front. Here we are live at the starting line. Kyle Murray in the 6109 ready to rock and roll. You see his navigator getting ready to go as well. Got the GPS going. Got the book out. The road map ready. As we are ready to go for the first car off the line here for 2025 at 7:59 on my dial. We're starting to right at 8 o'clock on the money. This is the 2025 Baja's NORRA 500. And right here from Rancho Nelson, the first car off the line, Kyle Murray. is in-car a little delayed behind the actual cameras, and we're going to have a lot of in-car footage for you here today. But they are off and running now. Let's see, for the 1,000, we started off here, and we got a couple of turns in, and then a few turns were blown right off the bat. I'm not saying it's the same course, because it's not. Completely different. But let's see. And this is how I look at it, and you don't have to agree with me. But the first couple miles, right off the start of day number 1 at a race like this, a lot of things can happen quick. Just because you're a little nerved up, your navigator's a little nerved up. You got to calm down. It takes maybe a mile or 2 to 3 to settle in and be like, okay, let's calm down here. Let's just mellow out. And we saw a lot of mistakes in the 1,000 right off the bat within like the first mile. But right now, no mistakes from Kyle Murray. He's heavy on the gas, looking good. And off to a great start. And here we are, especially when we get further out into the desert right now, and we need it from Rancho Nelson all the way until we get to the finish line. It's Starstream getting us dialed in here with everyone out there with their backpack programs on, and those Starstream setups is really good. Whoa! And look at Kyle Murray getting up into that berm right there, getting all kinds of roughed up early on. Get that out of their system early. And with our drone footage and our Starstream, we're able to cover all of that. Getting a lot of great coverage right now, the first several miles of the course. So that's super cool. I wouldn't necessarily call this considered a short course area compared to what they're about to go do, but this is pretty strung out, pretty wide out, and it's not necessarily a short course, but really great stuff there. Several minutes in between the first couple starting vehicles to keep each other out of each other's dust. Is getting ready to come back around and see, this is what I'm talking about navigation-wise. Where we're going. We're going over these tires. Should we be over here? Should we be over here? Not saying they're doing anything wrong, and to be honest with you, I don't know if they're directly on the right course or not, because we haven't seen it yet. No one has seen it. That's different than some of the other races down here in Baja, California, Mexico, where you're allowed to come down and pre-run. There is no pre-running here. These drivers and navigators are seeing everything for the very first time. Whoop, coming in hot and heavy. Nope, don't go up there. Takes that right-hander. This is perfect. This is great. It's tough being the first person off, right? You got no tire tracks to follow. You're not sure where to go. But it's great for us watching in the studio and watching at home to help me explain a little bit about, hey, what. Good. Couple small mistakes, but we're going to see a lot of that from a lot of the competitors. As you see, Murphy making it happen. And back around. So several miles of racing just around this short course portion of Rancho Nelson. Some good hang time in this area right here. A lot of fun. Kyle Murray getting it done. Been on the gas several minutes out already and still has not left Rancho Nelson area. So that just shows you a little bit of how big this facility is. Quite a few miles in already. Still right on property. And this is a facility that can house over 15,000 spectators with ease. Wonderful areas where you can safely see the course. They have everything you need down here. And all the big stars of off-road have been down here, from Toby Price, Robbie Gordon, P.J. Jones. Already dust from themselves getting in the way right there. You see him wiping off his visor on his helmet, or his shield, I should say. As now they're getting ready to finally head out. They're going to be coming up pretty soon to Blue Gate area here. And I think this has been great for everyone watching at home to really be like, hey, all right, what is it like, especially navigating and being one of the lead cars out here? And this is a great example. As they get up through Blue Gate, now going to be dropping a hammer. That drone getting us a lot of great coverage. as now they are heading off into the desert. A good run through that short course section. Once they get up to Blue Gate and they hang that 90-degree left, that's when they're really getting out there and really getting into the desert, getting it done. As we are ready to go here. Going a couple seconds out, about ready to drop the green flag for our second competitor. We've got them spaced out quite a bit, plenty of room to keep them out of dust for now. That's going to change pretty quickly. As the only competitor out on course is Kyle Murphy right now, all by his lonesome. And is ready to take off here from the starting line. Our second competitor. There we go. We've got them off. I think we're a little frozen up there. I couldn't quite tell. I did not realize that they had not left the line yet. As now we got two competitors off and running. We got now two competitors out on course. Andrew Lawrence is what I'm being told here as our second one out there. Lawrence, X-Comp, nice scent right there. Two very fast vehicles getting it done immediately. I love these big trucks, man. It's just really cool stuff. Ever since I was a child, man, I've been watching this stuff all the way from the other side of North America, all the way over on the East Coast, and just drooling over racing down here in Mexico and Baja and how cool it is as our X-Comp competitor, Andrew Lawrence, really getting after it. There's some of our volunteers and fans, Rancho Nelson. We've got right now, not everyone is there at Rancho Nelson just due to the simple fact that chase teams are now starting to spread out throughout the peninsula, at least for today on the northern loop. And so as we're getting underway, we'll talk a little bit about that as we got two cars out there right now. We have now hit the 8 o'clock hour. So we are at Rancho Nelson. That's off of Highway 3, if anyone's familiar with the area down here. It's about kilometer 19 off of Highway 3. And they're racing today from Rancho Nelson all the way to Horsepower Ranch for a poolside fiesta. It's going to be happening at the finish line. And so roughly about a 250-mile run today. And the start line and finish line are not that far apart from one another. They are pretty close to one another. So from Rancho Nelson to Horsepower Ranch, not that far apart. So they're doing a big loop today, about roughly 250 miles, and heading right back to the same area they came from, but a different ranch on the other side of Highway 3. Getting a little slideways right there as we got several of our race vehicles now out on course, making it happen. And what we're going to do, I just had to mute my mic for a minute, and for the help of myself and all of you at home, our man Hector is going to put up a little graphic with a name for each driver there for us as they are cruising around, so we know who we're dealing with here, and that's going to help you and I try to get as much information as we can. Anytime, folks, you hear me get a little quiet for a few seconds, I didn't leave. I'm still here. I'm just muting my mic and requesting for some more information for all of us to make it happen. And we got a great team here at NORRA TV to make this happen. These guys work very, very hard here in the studio, from Hector and Hugo and Sebastian and the entire team. As we're ready to go now from the starting line, the number 48, a very familiar vehicle right there. As there is Sherry Paxton as well, along with our Grand Marshal, Kurt Leuke. I've had such a wonderful couple days, just been able to spend some time with Kurt Leuke yesterday, awarding his award to him as Grand Marshal and having a great interview with him the other day, and a hero of mine since I was a child. And so very, very cool stuff, as two of my favorite people, Kurt Leuke right there and Sherry Paxton, side by side, and having a great time on the starting line. As right now Casey Perlman there in the orange vest, counting them down. He is in charge of the start line. And you see a pretty good line of race vehicles lined up there and ready to rock and roll, as we got a handful of them out on course right now, getting some more drone footage for you. Craig McCarthy ready to go in that green and black truck. This is an international crew. Craig McCarthy in the number 48 ready to go. And we got another truck off through Blue Gate. I believe it's the number 50 right there. Casey Perlman talking time and scoring, getting the countdown for Craig Murphy. I'm sorry, Craig McCarthy. The number 48 is off and running. So we have a good handful of vehicles out here right now. The vehicle on the right of your screen, that is not Craig McCarthy. Craig McCarthy, we've got the in-car on him right now, going backwards from the opposite direction of what we did for qualifying right there. And Dallas Luttrell right there on the right side of your screen. Dallas got a real cool car. So it is Craig McCarthy for the in-car camera. Dallas Luttrell now making his way towards Blue Gate. I keep bringing it up because that means you're leaving Rancho Nelson and you're heading out. They're in the desert, but they're heading out to where it's not so protected. It's not already a planned out course like this, as we are in the short course area here at Rancho Nelson. So Luttrell on the gas early on. A lot of racing yet to come. This is only a couple miles in to 500 miles spread out over today and tomorrow. That Luttrell car, it's working real good. Look how smooth that was. So Luttrell on the gas, looking great. Craig McCarthy doing the same thing. As this is just the very beginning of our 2025 Baja's NORRA 500. Those of you just tuning in, folks, my name's Sean Sermon. We're getting all the action down on the start as well from Miles Hazelquist and Pam Hall as well, out on course a little later on, and we'll be seeing her at the finish line as well. Miles will be joining me a little later on today here in the studio, as he and Sherry Paxton, all of them, Scott the Shark, and everyone make their way to the studio later on as we get the team all in here, and that's when I really get a lot of information dumped on me. Once we get all the vehicles out in the desert, it's difficult to keep track of who's who and who's where as a one-man band, and we're going to have everyone in the studio here. This will take the ride back to Ensenada, and then I got a whole team behind me giving me information, and that's going to be something different we're doing this time for the first time down here in the NORRA events. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping I can give you the news better than we ever have before with all the additional assistance. Right now we're watching Craig McCarthy, and we're also on board with him And they're taking off. I believe I just caught the tail end of that, but I'm pretty sure that was Trevor Glidden taking off that red and gray truck. Trevor Glidden, as I had mentioned earlier in the broadcast, having some struggles for the NORRA, Baja's NORRA 1000 with losing power steering and not able to get it back, and drove the thing. And he didn't, and imagine a vehicle of this magnitude without power steering, how difficult it is to drive. Well, he did. And he kept going, and he kept driving, and he never got power steering back, and he kept going and going, and finished the race day after day. Imagine sitting on the starting line being like, man, this is the third day in a row that I'm going to go 200-300 miles, and I still don't have power steering. And he did it right to the end and finished the race. There is Craig McCarthy right there, looking good right off the bat. As we got another look of the start line there, and look at, there's a nice shot. We got the in cab and looking outside, all the same vehicle, McCarthy, dropping a hammer really on the gas. And sitting there at the start line, we are ready to go. We've got a good handful of these vehicles yet to come, and then we're going to get into the UTVs. We will be having a bit of a break in between them, and I see our team from Stella talking about, and I could tell what he was doing. It looked like he was blessing everyone, but I don't believe that's what was going on. It was quite the opposite. He was saying, hey, tell these guys to stop getting on the gas as soon as they roll out here, because they probably have fiber optics and things like that in the ground for Stella, for tracking, for timing and scoring, and they're digging them up. I guarantee that's what they're telling them. There is Miles Hillsquist right there. He heard that conversation as well, and I guarantee it had something to do with tell these guys to not be digging down right when they go over the start-finish line here. And there we are, a little bit froze up. There we go. There is Casey Perlman looking over at the time and scoring. Yep, looking at the time, saying, I believe he said, I don't know if it was 10 or 20 seconds. Counting it down right now. Tim Kunch ready to go into 8:55. Only 3 seconds to go. Tim's right. Tim's like, yeah, I'm ready. And that's what I think would happen. Tim was a little cool about it. Didn't get on the gas that quickly. There is Girl Loves Baja as well right there. Yoli having a great time. As now Kunch out on course. Now back to the start here. As there is Trevor Glidden. Glidden, fingers crossed for him that he's going to have a better 500 than he did 1,000. But I tell you, he'll just keep digging and digging and digging to get to the finish line. He is a never say die kind of guy, and that's what you need when you race out here in the desert. Look at all the dust way off in the distance there. Trevor Glidden now coming back around the start-finish line area. It's a tight section through here for a little bit, kind of short course-ish, if you will. Let's put it this way. The first couple miles is a very long, spread-out short course, I think is a fair way to put it. As Trevor Glidden looking good. I do appreciate Trevor coming back year after year with the same color scheme and things like that, because it makes my life that much easier. I know who he is miles out because he's been running the same livery for a long time, and Boy, that makes my life a lot easier. All right, back to the starting line here. As Casey Perlman about to count them down again. You see right now, we started off the day out here at Rancho Nelson. It was beautiful, but kind of a similar deal now. Today we've been watching a storm and paying attention to it and really hoping that storm doesn't come our way. But it does look a little dark out there at Rancho Nelson. Ten seconds to go for our next competitor off the line. And I believe that was a Rancho Nelson vehicle right there. All right, so there he is, running opposite direction in a lot of this for the first beginning of the race than what we did in qualifying yesterday, because this was where qualifying happened out here at Rancho Nelson, but not using a lot of the same course, but doing it in an opposite direction for the majority of it. See him right there, getting around that turn pretty darn good. As I'm waiting on my team here in studio to give us a little more information on the who's who. All right, so now we're not quite, but about halfway through some of our bigger vehicles. UTVs coming up here shortly. You can see our team there getting more cars off the line. Right now they are all getting set up to head on out. It's going to be today for the cars. Their first special going to be 88.20 miles, and we're going to do a 44-mile section, 0.20. Last one's the longest, bring them on home at 103.20 miles. All starting out here at Rancho Nelson. As you see already out on course, we have the 58, the 87, the 48, and the 811 being Trevor Glidden, plus a few other competitors. And we see one right now already having some issues. As I talked earlier on, it's easy in the first little bit of the race here. Be like, you know, there's look at all the different paths and things, right? Not a lot of cars have been out there. You don't necessarily know what's fresh track, what isn't. Are we going the right way? Are we not? And not to mention, you're a little wound up. You just got in the car for the first time of 2 days. These guys still struggling to be on course. We've had a few different cars go a few different ways here. That section right there has always been quite difficult. I believe that is Bill Zemek right there. Bill Zemek very fast. He and his daughter having a really good Baja, NORRA's Baja 1000, and then till they didn't. And one of those, and I tell you, those of you that haven't been down here, we have a big problem with these pesky trees that jump out in front of you. They do. You're driving along, you're minding your own business, and all of a sudden, boom, one of these trees will hop right out, and these Mexican trees get right out in front of your car. And one of them snuck up on Bill Zemek last year for NORRA's Baja 1000. But the car's ready to go, ready to rock and roll, and back in it, and he's about to head out for day number 1. That was Craig Murphy flying by right there, heavy on the gas. And some more drone footage here as heading up through Blue Gate. The 882 has now left Rancho Nelson and is heading out into the desert to do its thing. And the 882, that's the Edward Gibson truck, the heavy metal. And you see this competitor right here was having some struggles early on. That's okay. They're all going to. Every one of them out here is going to have something that they don't want to have happen. But he's back on it and on the gas, already trying to make up time from that little issue they had early on, putting in a great performance thus far. After that little going the wrong way, they're like, hey, let's fix this. There he is, and I believe that is Briggs by the side of it. Yes, it is. Which, you know, a driver like Briggs honestly doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Very well put together. He and his team, him behind the wheel. But it does happen, and that shows right there. Now that I know who it is, I mean, it's proven that it happens to the best of them. But Briggs, he's going to make that up. He knows what's up. He knows where he's going. He knows what's going on, and he's going to make that up for sure. All right, so there is Briggs right there. As I said, had a little bit of trouble earlier. Got it fixed up. And, you know, if I was a betting man, and I am a betting man, I'm not going to lie to you, I'd say that they're going to settle right in and be just fine. Right now we're going to look at another one that is a very fast car, and that Jackal. These Jackal cars are super cool. That is Bill Zemek in the 935. And out of all the different race vehicles that you see down here racing in the NORRA 500, the NORRA 1000, and throughout Baja, if you're not down with these Jackals, man, I don't know, they're just cool looking. Everything's about, speaking about cool, look at right there, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Very, very cool. Kurt Leuke. And now it looks like another Jackal behind him. I have not had any audio.
Le bajó aquí ya antes de la rampa, mira. No, viste que sí, pero allá voló más chico, güey. A lo mejor sintió algo el güey. Uno, hacer el otro.
On the gas. No big surprise. Just dropping the hammer. vehicles out on course here in just a moment. Zemek doing his thing, looking good. I'm just sitting here watching as you're at home. Zemek and his team navigate through this section here. It's fun to see different styles and things, and once we get going, I believe we're going to have some good in-car, and we'll be able to listen to some audio as well. Fingers crossed. So you can hear some of the people there talking at the starting line and things. As we're still on board with Bill Zemek, getting a little bit locked up out there with the camera, and there is Zemek, a nice shot at him. So we got an in-car that's a little frozen up, and actually watching live footage of him. Kyle Murray has made it to the first speed zone. Kyle Murray is obviously on the left side of your screen. And when I say speed zone, those of you that are new to racing in Baja or off-road in general, speed zones are areas where they have to, there's a maximum speed they can go. Sometimes it can be 45, sometimes it can be 60, sometimes it can be 25 miles an hour. This one here, and let me back up, and sometimes it's because you're coming into a little village, or maybe there's a school there. I can tell you there's one portion of the track on the course this week where they have to do it because there's a vineyard, and the owner of the vineyard doesn't want his crops getting dusted out. I get it, sure. So they got to back it down for a little while through there. I believe that's going to be on tomorrow's portion of the race. But there are certain reasons here and there where there has to be speed zones, and we do it for mainly for safety, and that is safety of the Mexican people when we're in a busier area. And we also do it just because, you know, like for the vineyard, in that area there, it's not a busy area. There's not many people around where we're going through, so it'd be safe to go fast, but we have to respect that that's how he puts bread on the table. You know, that's how he feeds his kids. And you don't want to dust his stuff out so he can't sell it. You know, you got to respect everyone down here as you would want to be respected in your own backyard. And that's exactly what we do here at NORRA. So Kyle Murphy still in the speed zone. Bill Zemek on your right side of the screen, not in the speed zone, and just absolutely hammering. We are on board, a different shot. Craig McCarthy's got two onboards, and it looks like we've got both of them operating. That's cool. So we'll have the onboard right here looking out the front through this continued speed zone. And then he's got one going out the back as well. And we can see a little bit what's going on. So it must be a, I'm trying to look on, maybe a 20 mile an hour zone. He's just creeping. And Stella is watching everything. Stella is like Big Brother. Big Brother sees it all. And so if you exceed the speed limit in speed zones, you're going to be penalized. And it'll also be how much do you exceed it by? How far did you go while exceeding that speed limit? And all of that is taken into consideration when giving you your penalties. So, and there's going to be a lot of those handed out because it's inevitable. It's racing. Everybody does it. Pretty much everybody does it. At one time or another, you get caught for doing something like that. And it doesn't make you a bad guy, it makes you a racer. But right now it is key, especially this is only a 2-day race, a 500-mile race. If we're here for Baja's NORRA 1000, well then that's going to be a little bit different. You've got, you know, for this last one, you got 6 days to make up your mistake. But if you do it here, you've only got 2 days, only about $250 per day to make up your mistake. You get yourself a 30-minute penalty. Well, that's a problem. Bill Zemek looking good, per usual. As you're listening on him, I'm just going to be quiet for a quick minute and let you guys listen to that jackal eat right now. So there is Zemek having a good time. Now we got the helicopter behind the sky over the finish or the start line. We got all the big cars out in the desert, or the faster cars, I should say. Let me back it up. Let me say that again. Sometimes I trip over my own darn tongue. We have the faster of the larger cars out in the desert now, and now we're going to get into the UTVs. Also very fast. It's not physically as large. That's what I was trying to say, but I was stepping on my own tongue trying to get it out. So now we're going to have a bit of a gap here and get into the UTV racing as well. That's going to be coming up here very soon. I believe there'll be a substantial gap in between the last bigger cars before we get into the UTVs, but we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. All right, folks, so as you see, we've got an onboard about ready to rock and roll with Jeff Tierzo. Got another one of the cars out on course as well. But what we also have down at the start line right now, I'd like to check in with my co-port, Miles Hazelquist. Miles, what's up, brother?
The cars are starting down here at Rancho Nelson. So far, so good. We've had probably about 15 cars take the line. We have Kevin Schaefer right down here behind me in a Class 1. It's been a lot of fun. I saw Justin Lofton take off earlier. Obviously, Kyle Murray, our top dog. We're waiting on Caden Wells. You know, all the speed cars will be hitting the course soon, but everything's going smooth. We got Stella down here checking all the times, making sure everything's clicking off right, and everything's running smooth so far. The weather is absolutely beautiful. It's 70 degrees. It's almost warm air coming through the mountain, and they were warning me it was going to be chilly this morning, but no, it is picture perfect. And man, what a great start so far. I see Cowboy Cerrone not too far down the line, and a lot of heavy hitters. Over 100 competitors, almost 130 if I remember right, coming out here for the NORRA Baja 500 rally. It's going to be slow.
All right, so thank you so much, Miles. We do appreciate the added information. Jeff Tierzo. He looks like he's heavy on the gas early on.
1 minute, and man, so yeah, we got the 250 here. With cops, you know, the bad boys themselves, they've been racing out here for a very long time, and just super excited to see them coming in. Cowboy Cerrone getting ready to take off here in a second. So man, what a great start so far. Sean, I'm gonna send it back to you. Keep doing your thing, man. There at the NORRA TV studio, buddy.
All right, brother, thank you so much. And if I talked over you, my apologies. I'm running a little silent in my ears here, so you and I will have to work on some sign language. but now I'm getting you back. Now I'm starting to hear audio again, so we're looking good. We're at Jeff Tirzo, third gear, cruising along pretty good. See 2 shots of him, one in car and one not. Both of them looking great. We are just at the very beginning right now, folks, of our 2025 Baja's NORRA 500. Bringing you all the action from the starting line here from Rancho Nelson. Yesterday, what a great day it was. All of the tech and contingency happening yesterday. Qualifying for all the UTVs happening yesterday. That was a big one. Set a new world record at Rancho Nelson yesterday for UTV qualifying with Bill Stein's Caden Wells out there with a 2 minutes, 26 seconds, .800, fastest time that's ever been run out there. Absolutely super impressive. And then we went back, had a big fiesta in the drivers' meeting, and then all tucked in. What a great day it was. But today is the first day of racing. We're out on course right now. And speaking of out on course, look at, all right, now we're talking. The big dogs are here. Oof, oof. The 250, that's Zach Langley right there, ready to rock and roll in the Cops Mobile. And I tell you, when you come down to NORRA, man, anytime you line up and you look over and you see Zach Langley, you're like, well, we got to be on our A game, man. We got to be on our A game. When you got guys like Zach Langley, and sadly we don't have them here this weekend, but when you got like Mason Jr. down here, and a lot of these other fast guys, you've got to be on your A game, or you're just racing for second place. These guys are so fast, they're so good, they have great teams, and there's just super talented drivers. And Zach Langley, he's one of them right there. Now we're looking at ready to rock and roll off the start line here in just a little bit. A couple cars in front of him, or it might just be Langley with Cowboy Cerrone. There's Cowboy ready to rock and roll. And he's got quite a chase team behind him today and tomorrow. Of course, with his VP Monster Energy entry, he'll be making all that happen. So, sorry for the silence. I'm just getting some more information. Everything I can possibly do. I'm like an octopus in here, trying to get all the information, and my team is getting it to me. So, very good. And then on the line right now, Cowboy Cerrone. Now, normally, we would see Cowboy here. I say normally. A lot of times for NORRA, we would see Cowboy here in his UTV. But not this time. Now he's out here in a big truck, ready to rock and roll. Cowboy Cerrone. And here with his monster team, he's got Janie help chasing with him. Everybody down here and here to have an awful lot of fun. And as Cowboys get ready to take off, he is in his Mason truck. And all those Mason trucks, look at it. Rad looking truck right there. Got a lot of great people. And look at his, you got UFC, right? Cowboy Cerrone, big UFC star, Hall of Famer. Or if not, should be. I could believe he's going to be going to the Hall of Fame. Well, I guess that maybe is my opinion. And then, of course, Nitro Circus as well. And you may not know this, but Nitro Circus and UFC are very much one together, a lot of with other big things like that. So, owned by the same group of gentlemen. The 214 looking good. And that Monster Toyo Can-Am vehicle. And Can-Am still being heavily involved with Cowboy Cerrone's efforts, even though he's not in the Can-Am. So that tells you an awful lot about how they feel about Cowboy Cerrone and his efforts out here to say, hey, yeah, I know you're going to be in the truck, but we're still going to support you. And I have yet myself had an opportunity to watch Cowboy in the truck many times in UTV. But from what I hear, and I believe him, he is a wheelman in this truck. He takes this Mason truck and really goes to town with it. So that's what I've been told. I believe it. He is a professional athlete by trade. So, you know, he's heavily coordinated. You know, he's being a UFC superstar. You know, he's very strong. He's in great shape. So he's quick. He's coordinated. He's in good shape. He's got the mind of a professional athlete because he is one. Why wouldn't he go fast in this truck? It just makes sense, right? So that is Cowboy Cerrone in the 214 off and running. Meanwhile, still at Nelson Ranch, there is the Freedom vehicle. We saw him earlier on at Marina Villa, their hotel in town earlier today. Looking very good. And there is the 185 Moxie Racing Team. So quite a few entries of the bigger trucks here. Really awesome stuff. The NORRA 1000 and 500 just continue to grow and get bigger and bigger every year, and more entries, pushing upwards of 150 this weekend alone for total entries. So that's pretty impressive. And then way above and beyond that, way above and beyond that for total entries for the 1000 event. And you see, look at the dust way off into the distance right there. And then dust free for right now is the Moxie Racing's 185. So in that Moxie Racing 2009 Mason Motorsport Spec truck, Rich Keswell, Jeremy Frazee getting underway. And there's the cop's car, the cop's truck, I should say. Looking good. Zach Langley in the 250. Listen to a screen. Chopping the throttle. I love just sitting back and listening. And there's our first UTV that's going to be going off the line. Caden Wells, right there in the Bill Stein. Truck, and there's PJ Jones.
131 feet to waypoint.
That's an amazing team right there, these two gentlemen. Good buddies, work very well with one another. Close friends, and two guys that are very serious about winning. So I think that's great. And I see you got the tube to get fresh air into the helmet there, held up by a particular piece of rubber hosing. I think the choice of hosing is pretty funny. As there we go, ready to go with that Bill Stein Shocks record-setting, world record-setting UTV. Caden Wells, and putting in his great efforts in that Can-Am with the liquid molly. As he is ready to rock and roll here in just a little bit. And these guys are getting ready to get on and on with it here. There's going to be a little break before they get into our UTVs. All right, there is Kyle Murphy. And if we listen in, we can hear a little bit of Kyle Murphy and his navigator talking. Well, we were. They're in that speed section right now. Just kind of maxing and relaxing. American Rentals. I've used that company quite a bit over the years. So Kyle Murphy's American Rentals. Looking good. You see them kind of pointing out this is where they're just cruising along nice and easy, going through their speed zone. I'm not sure if you at home can hear what they're discussing. All right, there is another vehicle. Oh, that's the Moxie team out there making it happen. And here's our first shot away from Rancho Nelson. And I was about to say, so far so good. They'll get that fixed up, but that was a nice shot right there, standing on the outside of the turn. Very daring cameraman. As all of our larger vehicles, larger, faster vehicles are out on course. Kyle Murphy, not sure just what he's doing right at the moment. I think they had gone the wrong way. I thought they were in a speed zone. They still may be. Oh, yeah, they're a little lost. Right, so lost. They know where they are, but they don't know where they need to be. So if you could hear them right now, they're trying to figure out where they need to be to get back on course. And I think they found it. So there they are. So they're back on course. They think they're doing where they're supposed to be. Lost a little bit of time there. I'm not sure exactly how much, but we got to see at least about 45 seconds to a minute of it. But it seems like they are back to where they're supposed to be on right now. And that is what it's all about when you don't get the pre-run. And nobody does, not just them. Nobody gets the pre-run down here. Yeah. Now you hear that American Rentals truck really eat. And there is the Moxie team. They made the quick work of getting out of Rancho Nelson. Or are they still? No, they're out. They're out on the desert right now. So the majority of all of our bigger, physically larger, faster trucks are now out of Rancho Nelson. UTVs will be up next. We're going to have a little bit of a break in between the last truck and the first UTV, being Caden Wells. And that's just to space them out a little bit, out of the dust. And we will buy time. We will be by even the end of the day today, especially by the end of the day tomorrow, we will see UTVs well up into the trucks and things. They'll be very much intertwined as far as where they are for an overall. All right, so there we are. Navigation still being, I'll say, exciting to say the least for Kyle Murphy team. I think I've been saying Murphy for the last 3-4 minutes, and I apologize. I know better than that. All right, I know that in about 6 minutes or so, one of my co-hosts, Miles, Hazelquist will be making his way, will be getting in the car, making his way back here to the studio. I'm hoping that we can have an opportunity to get to Miles one more time for an interview before he leaves the finish line, or the start line. On board with Cowboy Cerrone and Josh Felix. Josh Felix being his navigator. And so far, so good. So let me ask you this now. Now, I don't know how tight the course is right here as far as when one lane is next to the other. But Cerrone, I told you that I was told that he is very fast in this truck. And I explained to you why I agree to that. Not just because I would agree with him anyways, because that's the safe thing to do. I'm just kidding. He's a wonderful man. He's a great guy. But for Cowboy Cerrone to be as fast is from what I expect from him and from what I told him this truck. And then this early in the race, we go to him, and he's already got a ton of dust in his face. And they're starting several minutes apart. That, you know, I'm just reading into it. It's very early in the race. And I'm doing, you know, I got to do what I can to give you the best news I can, the most news as possible. But it seems to me, as I always speculate, because I need to, that he's catching up a competitor in front of him pretty quickly. And they're already dust in his face. So Cowboy Cerrone, he's got dust in his face. So does his navigator Josh Felix. But you know who doesn't have dust in his face right now? And that's my man, Miles Hazelquist. Miles, what's going on down at the start line?
We're taking a 15-minute break between the trucks and the UTVs, and he's off the line first, so should have quite a bit of clean air, and it's going to be exciting. Today is the pine forest, so I think the UTVs, tight and nimble, have the advantage. Are you going to try to chase down some of these big trucks?
Yeah, that's the plan, to try to maintain the lead and just catch up to the other group and yeah, have a clean race. There's 2 days of racing, so we just want to keep it as clean as possible, but also want to keep the clean air.
Yeah, the clean air is very important for sure, and I see your co-driver's got all their notes there, has got the road book ready, and are you excited to take on this challenge down here in Baja?
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. I'm excited to get to use both the road book and the GPS. I think it'll be fun.
No, it's going to be exciting. See how it all shakes out. So, Caden, you just got a couple more minutes. I'll let you get in the zone, but best of luck and keep that clean air out front, buddy.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, Caden Wells be the first one taking off. And yes, and then it's Tom Purcell, Troy Johnson, Robbie Gordon, PJ Jones. I mean, it's we got a stacked field of UTVs out here getting ready to take the line. And like I said, the trucks are out front, but I think these UTVs on day one do have a slight advantage. We'll see how that shakes out, but it's going to be exciting. Sean, you've done a great job so far. So I'll send it back to the NORRA TV studio, buddy. Take it away.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. So they are sitting there, our fast qualifier, ready to rock and roll. Caden and his co-driver, Emma Cornwell. And so the both of them, they have seen victory before together as a team. This is not the first time that they've qualified this well. They've done so well. So they're really hoping for another victory here today. And we're going to find out how that goes as the next 2 days, including today, unfolds. So, folks, we are just moments away from getting into UTV racing here. Our big trucks are out on course, ready to rock and roll. And we get into the UTVs here soon. And I'm just sitting here thinking, as I looked at this right now, this is what threw me off. This is where my pause came from. I said, and I paused for a minute. And I just looked, I'm like, there's PJ Jones looking right there at Robbie Gordon. And just made me think, I'm like, wow. And it's, you know, like, we haven't even started racing yet. And, you know, the battle's almost already there. So just think about this, and you probably have, especially if you watched qualifying stuff yesterday. I mean, you look at these guys, so right off the bat, you know, there's the Bill Stein vehicle right there. You know they're fast, right? I mean, they've proven it before. They proved it yesterday. So right off the bat, outrageous speed. And then you just look at the cars down the line that qualified in the top 10. I mean, if you go, so here's a great example. The 10th fastest car yesterday, which is the 10th off the line, is Mario Gutierrez Jr. There's 9 that were faster than him. And honestly, if you said, hey man, hey Sean, put some money on qualifying, 9 times out of 10, I put my money on Mario. Man, he's just lightning, right? And so when Mario Gutierrez Jr. is the 10th fastest, that just shows you the speed, the ability, and talent of not just him, but the 9 drivers in front of him. It's huge, absolutely outrageous. I mean, so sitting here looking at PJ Jones, you know, he's got Robbie behind him, Gutierrez behind him a little bit further back. Some super talent sitting up in front of him. And it's just like, wow, like anything can happen right now. Excuse me. Anything can happen right now. And the thing is, it's wild because they can't just go out here and there's no time in 2 days to lay down at all. You know, you can't. This is going to be from start to finish, just right to the wood. And there's no 2 ways about it. So it's pretty awesome stuff. I mean, at least for us, for them, you know, they all want to have a good race. They all want to have a fun race. But, you know, there's no relaxing. There's no, hey, you know, let's take this sector a little easy. You know, hey, listen, we're going to get into this here. Let's, you know, everyone else is going to be mellow here. Let's be mellow. No one's going to be mellow. They're all going to be just standing on the loud pedal the whole damn time. And that is going to make for some amazing racing for us. And so I'm super excited about that. All right, there's a beautiful shot there, but it's a still shot. It's a little further. There we go. And 2 cars right on top of one another already, so it didn't take long for, that was McCarthy, I believe. Yes, it was for McCarthy to get up there and get around another vehicle. But now McCarthy off course. McCarthy's been having a very interesting NORRA so far, and it's just getting underway. So Greg McCarthy in the number 48 here for the 2025 NORRA 500. As you see, they're on board. They've been on course, off course, a little bit all over the place here. And it looks like we so UTVs are now out on course. So we've got 2 of them on. Troy Johnson ready to rock and roll here in a minute. He'll be, I believe, the 3rd UTV out there. And there is our record-setting entry right there. That Bill Stein Shocks vehicle so fast yesterday in qualifying, setting a new record. Caden Wells getting it done. Now out in front, right off the bat, open air for him. Troy Johnson, 3rd one off the line. Troy Johnson, nice onboard. The UTVs, the nice thing about them is they're not quite as loud, so we should, once we get going, a lot of the onboards, I'm expecting to be able to hear a lot of the navigating and things, which is great, so you can hear some of the cars and you can hear the navigating. They're not quite as loud as some of the bigger unlimited trucks and things. Caden, nice big send early on. They are on the gas. Him and Emma getting it done. Going backwards from what they did yesterday in qualifying. Now PJ Jones, he is off and running as well. Robbie Gordon's going to be right behind him, so immediately we just got big speed. Top 5 UTVs from qualifying are now on course and getting it done.
Keep left in 488 feet.
I'm going to be quiet right now because we always get to hear PJ's in-car. He does such a great job with that. I'm going to shut up for just a minute. Let's listen to PJ Jones in this Navigator.
Caution dip vintage on left in 299 feet. 006 double caution keep. 006 double caution keep right square ditch on right. In 798 feet. 007 double caution hard right off camber downhill. 007 double caution hard right off camber downhill. In 640. Left off camber. In 586 feet. 009 keep straight.
All right, folks, so there you have it. Out there with PJ Jones, 3 people in that car, both himself, his navigator, and Siri. As you can hear, both the navigators talking and Siri as well. And now we're getting down to the 5 through 10 and beyond for the UTVs off the start. We know Robbie Gordon's out there. We got the Strobel Motorsports entry. We got the Team Paxton standing there, rocking and rolling, ready to go. I see you, ladies. Kurt Leuke as well. Kurt Leuke leaning in to speak with him. All right, right now we're on board with Troy Johnson. And then coming up, I believe right here is going to be a good shot. Yes, it is. So that entry is about to be leaving Rancho Nelson very soon, but who also is going to be leaving Rancho Nelson, I'd like to talk to him one more time, is my man, Miles. Miles, what's going on down at the starting line, homie?
All right, well, we're here at the Nelson Rancho here, and I got Kurt Leuke, the Grand Marshal. He's been waving the green flag all morning. It's been a great start to the day, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's overcast. It's got a good wind for the racers. It's a great day here in Baja, so can't wait to get to Horsepower Ranch tonight and see who came out on top.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. I know you're getting ready to wave that flag, so I'll let you pay attention for a minute so we don't miss anything. But again, it's been a great start of the day. Kurt just said the weather is absolutely beautiful, and it absolutely is. All the big trucks are out. Our top UTVs have gone. Caden Wells, Thomas Purcell, Troy Johnson, PJ Jones, and Robbie Gordon. So, man, so far so good. A few more cars to get out here for sure, and then you get to come back tonight and do the little fiesta, right?
Yep, and then looking forward to Estero Beach tomorrow, big celebration.
That's your hometown.
Yep, my hometown. And, this is my 3rd job as a Grand Marshal. Dave Cole, King of the Hammers score for the Baja 400, and now this 500 with NORRA. So it's, I love my retirement jobs.
And you made it in the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame, too, so you got a pretty good thing going.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the sport. I'm proud of everything we've accomplished and look forward to the future. These UTV guys are going to be driving trophy trucks. That's what's important.
That's pretty cool. All right, well, a lot more yet to come. Sean, I'm going to be heading your way, so I'll see you in about an hour, buddy. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds, and we'll see you in a little bit. Sean, back to you, buddy.
Right, Miles, looking forward to it. Hey, if you and Sherry could pick up some breakfast, that'd be wonderful. I came to work way too early, nothing was open. Yeah, that wasn't a joke. Folks, so let's just take a moment. And I know we've watched a lot of our Grand Marshals and things over the years and stuff like that, and they're all just so wonderful and so talented. But right now, Kurt Leuke, see how serious he was taking his job. He's almost like, Mom, I can't talk to you. I'm throwing this flag right on the money. He understands, he just gets it. And very serious in his passion about just the way he was. I got to interview him the day before yesterday, and you're going to see that interview later today. Just awesome. I mean, it was really a great time. And you'll see it and hear it in my voice and in his as well. Just the passion for him of the sport, and the same for me, and being able to be here and sit with someone like Kurt Leuke, who has been someone I've looked up to and watched on TV and stuff for so long, and then be able to sit here and just have a conversation that was so good and so cool with him. And we were joked around, and just he's just such a passionate man when it comes to motorsports, and it shows right there on the starting line as well. As you can see, just car after car after car, he's into it, and he cares, and it shows. And that's something special, man. That's really awesome. So now we've got another UTV coming to the line here as they are all rolling off the line. You see one of our newest hires, Jessica, there from behind the roll-offs, or behind the tear-offs, I should say. And the CNC 802 is now out and running. 802 on course. And that is Chris Oyman. I don't know why I said that like I was from Jamaica. Oyman. And he is off and running as well in the 802. So right now we are on board with Troy Johnson. He is in some heavy dust. Who is Troy Johnson catching up right now? We've already got some good racing early on. There's a sweep vehicle, or maybe just a fan off to the side watching. Now here's just a good look, folks, of, and this isn't even bad dust yet. This is nothing. But how bad the dust can be, and it's going to get worse as he gets right up on him. And now you got to navigate around him. Now you're going, you don't necessarily know where you're going. Your navigator's going to have to do the job for you. You're going to get heavy dust where you just have to trust your navigator's doing it right. And then you got to get around that competitor. This early in the race, if you got a competitor that you caught this quickly, then that competitor's holding you up. You're not going to just wait from this early in the race and be like, yeah, we'll try to get them around them in like the next half hour. Heck no, absolutely not. You got to go now, bro. And I bet you Troy Johnson right now is just kind of biding his time, thinking, okay, maybe even having his navigator jump ahead a little bit in the book and see, what's kind of coming up. Try to plan something out. Just do whatever you can to make it happen. Right now, you can tell that Troy Johnson is purposely staying out of that dust the best he can, but he's going to have to make a move real soon. On the starting line here is the 911. As Casey Perlman's about to send him off as well. That 911, that's actually a 1985 Mirage 6-cycle buggy. 1985, that thing's tricked though. 85, I was 10 years old and they built that thing. So now, still plenty of UTVs out on course. Troy Johnson still in that dust. I'm waiting to see when he's going to make a move. Now here is the 916, I believe it is, about to head off the line as well. .916, Javier Gonzalez inside the top 20 in qualifying yesterday. Production 2019 Polaris Razor. So Javier looking good. Qualifying well yesterday. Not in the top 10, but you don't need to be because you got 2 days of racing ahead of you, so he's doing very well. There we go. Back full screen on board with Troy Johnson. Get a little full effect of what he's dealing with here. I'm starting to wonder, maybe perhaps the person or the competitor in front of him right now is not necessarily holding him up. Maybe they had a problem. Maybe they got off course and got back on again, and now they're still running good seats. So maybe he's not able to just get up to him and overtake him that quickly. Maybe there's just a different reason of why that had happened. Look at that beautiful blue Speed UTV. That thing's a nice looking car. Wow, that was beautiful. But Troy Johnson still looking good, moving on, and the camera gives it no justice. They're flying. They're hauling. They are on the gas. So this is a top 10 driver right here, and we know that just from qualifying alone. This is one of our top competitors. The camera's doing it no justice because it looks like in camera he's going pretty fast. And you don't know how darn fast you have to go to make it look even that good. So he's flying. Troy Johnson really putting in a great effort thus far. Shot off of the distance of that 1985 buggy we were talking earlier about. I believe it was a class 12 perhaps. Don't hold me to it. I don't remember now. But moving along pretty good out there. I think he is he's just only one in class. So he's if he doesn't go home with a victory, it's not good. Sorry, sometimes I crack myself up. Troy Johnson still looking good. We got another one of our buggies about to take off the line now as well. Casey Perlman's about to send him off. You see the staff at the starting line has thinned out a little bit at 9 o'clock.
474 feet.
They had instructions of other places to go to, and 4 of them are heading right here to me. There's Briggs, looking good, no surprise there whatsoever. Then we're on board with PJ Jones. And I'm going to be quiet again just a little bit because I do enjoy listening to PJ. Let's see what they got to say navigation-wise.
054 to right. Keep right.
Stay right. Right now. Stay right. Right. I can't see shit. Yeah.
In 1,107 feet.
Right.
055. Keep right moves.
slight left. Left. Into some whoops.
055, keep right whoops.
Right. And then we're sweeping right a little bit. Sweeping right. Sweep right.
In 967 feet, 056 right over crest. 056 right over crest. In 800 feet, 057 caution collapse on right narrow begin 40 mph speed zone.
Wind. Tell me wind. Yep.
Begin 40 miles per hour speed zone.
Tell me when I'm there.
108 feet.
You're at
058 hard left after Blue Gate local traffic.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Left.
058 hard left after Blue Gate local traffic.
40. Did you see that okay? Yeah. We caught him. Yeah. With the net coming down, we caught him. It looks locked now. Yeah, it's better. I tried to get the Velcro to help it. Yeah, you're at 40.
Just listening right now, folks, had a problem with the window net on PJ's side. They were able to fix that, and they said they were caught who was in front of them. Now they're in a speed zone. Yeah. I'm going to be quiet and listen in.
Is that a buggy? No, that's the car in front of us. That's the Pro R, the fab school. We need to beep him as soon as we can. Yeah.
So I'm hoping we didn't give away the farm on PJ here, but as we're listening in, he said, oh, who's that in front of him? And his navigator says, oh, that's the fab school car, the Pro R fab school car. And he said, and right off the bat, PJ goes, well, we're gonna beat him right away. Right away, we're getting out of this and we're getting after him. Now, if maybe Fab School's listening and saying, oh, shoot, hey, guys, we got radio contact with them, being like, well, look out because PJ just put a bullseye on your back. But very cool to listen to them. This first segment for them so far as they go into the speed zone. Very fast, as you would expect in PJ's performance. Just like Robbie Gordon. Also, if you liked what's going on with PJ's performance and Robbie Gordon things, they both have ride drive programs as well. And then also talking about how a window net issue coming down on PJ's side. He said he fixed it up with some Velcro and stuff. I know they didn't stop the car to do that. They did it while they were driving. And then they made some adjustments on the Stella so that PJ could see the Stella a little bit better and things of that nature as they were driving along the speed zone, and then made plans of passing the car in front of them quickly. And that's what they're about to try to go do. I'm going to say try to go do because I know that the car in front of them is super fast. Taz Harvey in the 285 coming to the start line. Making sure that Casey Perlman was awake. Creeping up on him like that. 285 of Taz Harvey, ready to rock and roll. There's Taz Harvey, 285. He is off and running. PJ Jones should be not too far from the end of the speed zone. Troy Johnson is in front of him. I believe that is the Fab School car. Don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty confident it is. Troy Johnson, 721. Yeah, it is Troy Johnson. Of course it is. I gave him an award yesterday. How would I not remember that? Troy Johnson, owner of Fab School. Him and his crew accepting awards for all that they do down here at NORRA. All right, Troy Johnson's on the gas. He's out of the speed zone, which means that probably right around now, or is he? Yeah, I think he is. So we should be seeing P.J. Jones out of that speed zone as well. So they're about to have themselves quite a race, whether Troy wants it or not. But let's not forget, P.J. Jones, yeah, he comes with a huge name. He's been there, won that literally around the world. And P.J. and I have traveled around the world together for a while with super trucks and other things. And I've watched him win. I've interviewed him on podiums in numerous different countries. And, you know, we know he's fast, but we know he's a big name. Troy Johnson, the owner of Fab School, he may not have the name of Jones, but he has the ability and he's got the talent. And he qualified really, really well yesterday. So getting around him might not be as easily done as expected. There is the 1967 about to head out as well. '67. I believe it's going to be David Gray starting off in that vehicle. And so that car is off. Now we have, I like this P.J. Jones and Troy Johnson together side by side thing here. That's a good one. I think we should go big screen on that bad boy. So here you are. Troy Johnson, P.J. Jones. They are still in a speed zone. So they're awfully close to one another. But it looks as though P.J. Jones is already in front of him. And I don't know how that happened. Or maybe they had just got him before they came out into the speed zone. Maybe that's what it was. And we had missed it. I know they were talking about getting around him, but maybe they had already done it. It certainly looks like it now, because it's not going to happen in the speed zone. They're both going the exact same speed. Okay, so here we are, still on board P.J. Jones and Troy Johnson with the Can-Am and a Pro R. P.J. Jones in that Can-Am, Troy Johnson in the Pro R. Right behind them, and not far behind them, is the speed car. So all right on top of one another, going very fast. We have a Can-Am, a Pro R Polaris, and a Speed UTV all right together. And there is Casey Perlman sending off another Speed UTV. Still in a long speed zone here with P.J. Jones. P.J. Jones in the 980. And folks, if you want to follow along, go to NORRA.com. Right up on the homepage, you'll see an opportunity to be able to follow along. You can go use the same information I do, which is from timing and scoring. You can look at the tracking and the times and all that. All of it's right there in front of you to use and however you choose. And it's exactly the way I call the race. And it'll help you out greatly. Now, as I follow the tracker here, that's what I'm doing currently, as you can do at home. You can see it looks as though, yeah, I was right. Both PJ and Robbie Gordon, all these guys, are all right, pretty darn close to one another. So they've got a good race in a speed zone here. But while we're going through the speed zone, yesterday I had an opportunity, or actually 2 days ago, I had an opportunity to speak with our Grand Marshal, Mr. Kurt Leuke. And while speaking with Kurt Leuke, we've got a pretty long interview. We're going to break it down into a couple of segments of 3 or 4 minute segments. And but segment number 1, and this is a wonderful interview from a wonderful man that loves off-road, and he's a hero near and dear to all of our hearts, I'm sure. But let's take a moment to get out of the speed zone here, and we're going to overlay this, and let's hear some words from our Grand Marshal for the 2025 Baja NORRA 500, Kurt Leuke. Hey, folks, and I tell you, I've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of amazing people in my career in motorsports around the world. But this guy sitting right next to me, our Grand Marshal this year, Kurt Leuke, I've watched you since I was a child. And, you know, there's a lot of people in off-road. Now, off-road, I've always felt, is like racing's one of racing's biggest, best-kept secrets. And my heroes in motorsports come from off-road, and that certainly is you are one of those people. I'd like to talk a little bit about you, about your career, and from the beginning coming on up. But first, just to get this off my chest, because this is exciting for me, is it true that you were originally from Massachusetts?
Absolutely. I was born in Rhode Island because I wanted to be near my mom.
Yeah.
And my dad was in the Navy and moved to Massachusetts and grew up there until I was 32, moved to California.
Well, I was born, still live in Massachusetts, so it's fair to say that we were originally both kind of massholes.
I've never used that word, but I've been called that.
Yeah, I've been called a masshole. Yeah.
I love New England. I love the seasons. You know, I like fried clams.
Sure.
Lobsters, and but California has the desert, and it had a pull that I can't explain, and I had to eventually move here.
Yeah, I absolutely understand, but I was doing my homework on you, and I know a lot about it, but I just realized that today that you were from Massachusetts as well. I thought that was pretty cool.
Springfield area, so about an hour and a half from Boston.
Yep.
Great city, and I had a 4-wheel drive shop. I started as a kid. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and it just led me into racing and growing my business through racing, and that's how I got to meet Sal and Walker Evans, and just been never looked back, no regrets.
How did you get, because from New England, off-road is not nearly what it is out here. How did you make that transition from being in the Northeast and then finally coming here and becoming just who you are, just the man, the myth, the legend?
Well, an entrepreneur, so you're always looking for an opportunity to grow your business, grow your education, and
sure.
Back then you could go to the Jeep dealer and they gave you a kit for off-road racing. It came with a start banner, flags, a rule book, and so we started racing those Jeeps, one at a time against the clock, and that's kind of how it started. And you'd wait for a magazine to come in the mail, off-road magazine or 4-wheel parts, and you'd read about all these different races in the Midwest. They had Lake Geneva,
sure.
They had Crandon, there was stories about Baja and the Mint 400, and it was just something interesting, and my customers would want to talk about it. We grew our business that way.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
going on with Bab School, Myers Minks, Bill Stein, GWM, Ford Performance Tank. All bringing you the action here. This is live, folks. Qualifying's over. Contingency tech registration, it's done. Speed UTV well in the mix. Robbie Gordon putting in a great run. And momentarily, we're going to have an opportunity to go to my partner in crime, Pam Hall, here in just a little bit. And we'll see just what's going on out there in the area that she is in. Right now we see a lot of the still UTVs. We got a lot of UTVs still going around Rancho Nelson. We have a big line of them there with Casey Perlman. And I'm looking on our live tracker here. We're going to be catching up here in a little bit with PJ Jones and them as well in time. All right, there is another shot of UTV. I'm sorry, when I get a little bit silent here, that's because I'm talking to my NORRA TV team here in studio, and they are putting an excellent job in, trying to get me all the information they can. So I get a little silent at times just because I'm listening in on other things in the studio, and it's quite the studio that we have here. As Ugo is on foot walking around talking to his team with Sebastian and Hector and making sure everything is dialed in. Casey Perlman sending more off the line 2 seconds ago. And the 39.19 is now on course. Those of you watching at home. Might have been the 39.10 perhaps. Juan Carlos, I believe. Now out there on course. Another really cool vehicle as well. And so we have all of our top UTV competitors. Let me back up. All of our faster of the larger vehicles, our Evolution vehicles, our Unlimiteds, things of that nature, they're all on course and they're getting it done right now. Well, on becoming in the 1049. And right there, that is a man on a mission. That is Max Gordon right there, still back at Rancho Nelson, just getting going. He has a lot of ground to make up. He had a DNF yesterday, sadly, in qualifying when he was set down a lightning fast run. Now starting quite a ways back in the pack, and he has a lot of ground to make up. We're talking miles upon miles upon miles. There's the 1069. Big thumbs up for these guys. .1069, that is Taylor Nosco and Jerry Hooverman ready to rock and roll. We see some passes on the outside out here. Dust flying. Is getting it done quickly. All right, so in just a little bit, we're going to get with Pam Hall. See the 1069 doing her thing. And there we have Pam Hall. Pam, what's going on? I know you're in a different part of the track right now. Tell me what's going on in your world. It looks beautiful out there.
Thanks, Sean. It is absolutely gorgeous out here this morning. We are at kilometer 79. We're at the start of stage 2. This morning, though, I'm going to talk about this. We all know that it's overcast and it's only about 70 degrees outside, but where we're at, it has been raining on and off. So we've been watching the clouds move, the rain move. So that might play a factor up in the pine forest where the drivers are at right now. The chase crews have all been coming in. They've been getting lined up. So we're just waiting for our leaders to come in. We're going to try our best to get an interview with them. But in reality, there is a transit. So we are not sure exactly where they're going to stop for the longest point. So we're just sitting here waiting for them to come on in here. But it's been a great morning out here. You've been doing an amazing job over there in the NORRA TV studio, listening to you talk miles at the start. It's been a great morning. The racing's been fun to watch. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to you. Go look at the tractor and see about how long we have our leaders come in.
He's passing cars pretty quickly right now. Robbie Gordon,
Yes.
I've been looking on the tracker, and Robbie has lost a position and is making it up very quickly. But more importantly, back with UTVs, the number 77, we know who that is. And Max just took off the line. He started way back in the pack, and he is flying. It is a nonstop rooster tail off the back of that car right now. And so when you get to the UTVs, I'm excited to see from where I'm looking at them now to when they get to you and you bring us the news, there's going to be some big changes there.
Yes, we've been watching on the trackers as well while we've been watching the show and being in position here. So it's been a battle out there. It's been really cool to see. But yeah, I know with Max having all the issues he was having, I mean, to be out there right now, you know, already on it, you know, hopefully his day goes better than his qualifying run went yesterday for him. But yeah, I can't wait to talk to those guys, the UTV guys. I mean, Caden Wells, man, when he went off to start this morning, he was on it already. It was like it was game on qualifying, like he qualified yesterday. So it's definitely a battle going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then talking to the bigger trucks earlier on, I'm excited to see just where Trevor Glidden's doing, because he's on a redemption run. He went days of running with no power steering in the 1000, and now things are going well with him. And even in the 1000, no power steering, he still managed to finish. That truck stays together. He's going to be moving up through the pack as well. And then, of course, Zach Langley, he was flying. And so, yeah, I'm excited from both our bigger trucks to the UTVs. We got a lot of battles that are already unfolding and some really fun stuff. And right now, we're on board. Max Gordon's going around another car as we speak. He literally just blew by somebody else right now. And
nice.
So, yeah, we've got a lot of great stuff happening.
Sorry, I didn't mean to overtalk you, but Trevor Glidden's team, they're over here. So I was going to go chat with them when they first pulled up, but literally when they came in here, it was raining. So I'm like, I don't have a rain jacket on right now, and I don't have one with me. So my bad on packing. But yeah, no, so I would love to go get a, chat with them, but I really hope so, because I remember at the 1000 when he came in, his arms were like jello. I mean, I can't imagine driving that big beast with no power steering.
You basically said exactly what I did just a little while ago, so it's got to be an easier day for it. But Pam, great job, and I love that we can talk back and forth today. This is nice, and it's almost like we're just hanging out together.
Exactly. You know, I can't see you. You can see me. I'm just looking at the back of a phone and my person that's on the camera. So it's going to be a great day. Sean, you're doing an amazing job. I cannot wait to get to the finish line and talk with the drivers there as well. So day one already started. Can't wait to see how it all pans out at the end.
It's going to be great. And I tell you, they don't pay me for my face. They pay me for my voice. So it's working out good.
Oh, you're so funny. You're funny.
All right, Pam, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to talking to you in a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, there is Pam Hall getting it done out there, and really exciting is what's happening here today as we hop on board with Craig McCarthy right now. And I'm going to tell you, there's more of the story than NORRA than just the racers. There's the story of the NORRA TV guys, and after that, being able to talk to Pam and go back and forth. Look at, there's high fives, knuckles. They're pumped. They're smiling. They're all having a good time. So it's not just about the racing. It's about the technology. And when you watch stuff up in America, in the United States, you have self-service. You have all this stuff and satellite. And, you've got everything you need right there. You get down here in Mexico, you're running blind. And so to get the right stuff, to bounce off the right satellite, to come back down, to get to the studio and this and that, it's not a simple thing. But when you say Sebastian and Hector and Hugo and the girls and everyone in here high-fiving and stuff, and things are working out, it's not just about the race for us. It's about fighting technology and winning. And right now, they're doing that. So well done, Team NORRA TV. As we're sitting on the line, it's the 234 about to come off the line here. And the 234, that is being piloted by none other then Tom Deegan, I believe it is. First one's going to be Tom Deegan. Then you've got co-drivers Pat Bell, Charles Crum, and Joe Azevedo. And so all those guys ready to roll. That's a 1997 Toyota Tacoma. Some passes being made early on, still in Rancho Nelson. So that's a car that is moving and grooving right there, getting it done, that red vehicle, flying. We haven't seen much for passing while still at Rancho Nelson, so that's moving along pretty good. Right here, this is the Monster Energy. I believe we're looking at Casey Curry. I'm pretty confident right there in that Monster Jeep. And if I am correct, I believe this is the first time really they've driven that Jeep. It's their pre-runner. And they don't have much for miles on it, and I believe, and this is just because I do my homework on social media. I go around to all the different people that race NORRA and different things. I check on what's going on the nights before the race and things of that nature, and that's where this information comes from. And I believe Casey Curry is going to put 500 miles on this pre-runner for the first time. So that's going to be interesting how that goes for him. Big smile on his face yesterday. I'm sure he's about ready to really enjoy his day as well. So right now our first bikes are going through Arenda at 8:34 in the morning. That was happening, so a while ago. So keep in mind, folks, for safety and safety reasons only, we have bikes in one course, four-wheel vehicles on another. And good morning to you by Kenyon. Thanks for tuning in, brother. And those guys, we have them separated just for safety reasons, but they are also racing. And so Vicky Smith says, no mention of the number 20. Well, Vicky, let's talk about Gay Smith right now. I didn't get an opportunity, I believe, when he went off the line. We had a problem with camera freezing up, Vicky. And I will make it a point because Gay Smith is super fast and we want to know what's going on with him. So thank you for reminding me of that. So thank you very much. Fab School, let's go. You guys, let's go. Man, you guys are awesome. Fab School getting a big award yesterday. Let's go. I love it. And but yeah, so Vicky, anytime Vicky Smith, if you see that I'm not getting you enough action from Gay Smith or we don't have a camera on him, maybe we just didn't get an opportunity to, but you remind me. I'm listening, I'm watching. Let me know, and I want to give you everything that I possibly can here. Watching from the Fountain Hills, Arizona. Everyone have a safe and fun race day from Kevin P. Kevin P., we're hoping for the same as well, and we hope that you enjoy tuning in and watching all day long as well, as another car is about to take off. Sergio Medina says, blessings, Kurt Leuke. Yeah, how about it? How amazing is him, Sergio? He is awesome. So continue on with a lot of our big ones. Kevin Johnson. All right. Good morning, all. Those clouds from Hurricane Priscilla, the drivers might catch some rain, especially in higher elevation, says Kevin Johnson. You know, Kevin, you want to keep giving me some more. We're going to pretend that you're here with me right now. And so feel free. Keep tuning in. Keep doing your thing, Kevin. I miss you, buddy. And so here we are still at Rancho Nelson, continuing on. Moving and shaking, we have a lot of cars out on course right now, a lot. And of course, all of our bikes as well on a separate course. The bikes are taking the east route, if you will, today. And all the trucks are taking the northern route going up through the pine forest today, which is going to be tight. And it's going to be one that, once again, speculating, but I believe the UTVs are going to do quite well with up in that area. And now there is a Myers-Manx vehicle right there. Myers-Manx. Also, Myers-Manx, not just a supporter of the Safari Expedition presented by Myers-Manx, but also of all of NORRA, both the 1000 and the 500. And Myers-Manx, of course, has cars competing out there as well. And there is, I believe, the first Myers-Manx of the day about ready to take off as well. And I'm pretty confident right there in that 1965 Myers-Minx. That's going to be John Steinhilber. John Steinhilber is going to be getting after it in that vehicle. What a cool little car it is. Myers-Minx, man, coming back in full effect. And they are rad cars. And then we get into our single-seater right here. And look at going old school. Now, he is right here from Ensenada and has set so many records up and down this peninsula over the years. Ramon Castro. And Ramon Castro has an awesome shop here. He's the most winningest Class 11 driver ever. He was a Grand Marshal as well for us in 2024 from right here in Ensenada. And so that is him. And look at, he goes old school. When it gets to the dust stuff, he just has basically like a handkerchief over his mouth, just some goggles on. He just takes it. So that is Ramon Castro getting after it.
In 849 feet, 081 caution sweep right local traffic.
As we're back on board with PJ Jones.
081 caution sweep right local
and
traffic.
just because it comes in so good, I'm just be quiet and just listen in on him just for a few minutes.
God, still in the speed
In
zone.
826 feet, 082 through fence local traffic.
How much longer we got? I don't know. You got the book. I'm not looking at that thing.
082 through fence local traffic.
Okay, it's coming up in about less than a mile.
In 852 feet, 083 keep right
Very
in middle
long
lane
speed
more or less
zone.
visible.
PJ asking him, hey, how long is this, man?
Keep right.
Says less than a mile.
Yeah.
And they should be out of the speed zone.
Keep
I'm
right
going to
in
listen
middle
in.
lane more or less visible.
Middle lane, right here.
In 868 feet, 084 keep straight and speed zone.
Keep straight and speed zone. Okay, tell me when. Oh, no.
084 keep straight and speed zone.
Go. Sweep right.
In 960 feet, 085 keep right on
Perfect time to listen in. They're out of the speed zone. It was a long one.
085
And now
keep
they
right
are
on
off to racing. I'm going to stick with it. It's about to get aggressive in the cab of that car.
086 keep left less visible road.
Left,
086
right here,
keep
right,
left less
right here,
visible
right here,
road.
right here. Sweep right, 90 left. Right there, 90 sharp, sharp.
¿Quién es? 3 miles to waypoint.
Straight.
¿Quién es? ¿Quién es?
Sweep left, Jinky, left, right.
In 1,054 feet,
Left, right.
087 ruts on right.
Jinky. Back right. Sweep 90 right, right.
087 ruts on right.
Right again, right. Open. 10 left, right there. 10 left, straight.
In
5 left.
0.3 miles, 088
10 right.
fence on right.
45 left, coming up right here, 45. More. 30 right. A little bit more jinky, a little bit.
088 fence on right. In 400, 089 many rocks both sides. In 1,049 feet, 090 caution right over crest.
Pretty straight. Pretty straight.
090 caution right over crest.
We're going right. 90 hard right. 90. A little more shaky. 45 left. 45.
In 908
30
feet,
right.
091 caution rock on left through fence.
30 right. 15 back and forth, Jake. Watch that rock.
091 caution rock on left through fence.
Got it. Tighter. 90 right. 90 right. 90, 90. A little bit more shaky. 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 Tighter right. Tighter. There you go. Okay, pretty straight.
In 782 feet, 092
10
rocks on
left,
sides
right.
twisty.
Tighter up there in the corner. Shaky back and forth. Watch the rock.
092 rocks on sides twisty.
Tighter. Shaky and tighter all through here for the next 100 yards or so, 200 yards. Still janky. This whole thing's jank.
All right, so now we have the super cool Myers Minx out there, cruising, getting it done. And then on the left side of the screen, you have the super fast, violently fast car of PJ Jones. Two different ways of racing in NORRA. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. There's also, you could also come down here and just be part of the Safari Expedition and things of that nature. But right now, there's two great different ways. And then there's a third way. You can do it all by your lonesome right there and be in that car like Mr. Castro. But right now, listen, now we hop on board with Kyle Murray, and we're just listening to Kyle Murray and see the differences in between one of these big, fast, heavier trucks versus PJ Jones in the UTV. Now we got the 166 Ford Bronco about to head on out. That's the 166. That is being piloted by, let's see, I think it's going to be Donnie Hatch. Then we got John Evans and Ryan Williams as well. So Donnie Hatch should be the pilot of that 66 Everson Bronco. Another Ford vehicle here. Lots of Ford vehicles. Ford has done so well over the years, not just in the desert, but in racing in general, as we all know. But that is another one of the amazing Ford vehicles. And they're about to really do some work out here. 1010 heading off the line. Our Grand Marshal's still doing his job and having a blast with it. So right there, that is Don Mankey in the 1010 and his 89 Ford F-150. Dan Mankey, sorry, Dan Mankey. Getting after it. And then we get into, I believe, is it the 595? Trying to look and see here. Ryan Baldgerin, I believe it is, in a VW Class 5. That's what my paperwork says. Now we're on board for the first time with Max Gordon.
Rollers.
Now we switch over to PJ Jones.
108 rollers.
Okay, still going left. 25 right. Still right. Chain key. And 15 right. Straight. Tighter, Jinky, 30. 30 left, coming up. Right here, 30 left. This is staying tighter.
And we're seeing some more passing.
In 553 feet, 109
Early
caution
on in
downhill.
Rancho Nelson. Some of the mixed up with slower and faster vehicles, maybe that struggled with qualifying or didn't make it to qualifying or what have you, or didn't make it to the start line on time. Starting back further back in the pack. And so they've got some good racing right off the bat there. All right, on board PJ Jones and Mac Johnson. Mac Johnson's frozen, but what a great way to be frozen up. Big thumbs up. That's standard procedure from Mac Johnson. So now, Max Gordon in that speed zone. It's a long one. 20 miles an hour. That's a long ways to go at 2-0. As you saw earlier on with PJ Jones, as we got to learn just how far in distance that speed zone was. Here's the Yokohama Mac Johnson, number 306. Mac Johnson actually caught